If you were to move somewhere tomorrow, would you know how to cultivate a healthy environment for yourself? Because whether you're moving somewhere new or you're traveling for weeks or a couple days, cultivating a healthy environment for yourself can have a huge impact on how you feel. I learned this through my travels, and I know that creating an intentionally healthy environment will support you overall. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do that today. All right. So, first and foremost, let's talk about being right within. You'll notice that when you have an urge to move or to go on vacation, there's probably something within you that you are trying to run away from, right? You want to move somewhere new because you feel like you can't do anything in your environment, or you feel like there's people that you want to get away from. While all that might be true, you have to solve this inner tension because wherever you go, you'll see that you will create the same patterns repeatedly. You'll create the same types of relationships, and the same type of self-sabotage energy will follow you. And if you can't make an impact to where you are, what makes you think that you'll make an impact to wherever you're going? So examine the reasons why this push to move is there. Sometimes it's very innocent. It's as simple as the girl trip. The girls trip has made it out of the group chat and we're all going to travel. But if you know one thing, it's that a lot of the times girls trips will end friendships. And it's because somewhere in the mix people weren't right within. There were discrepancies within those relationships already that weren't reconciled. So we must reconcile with ourselves first. Like, what's going on with me? Ask yourself the deep questions, the important questions, and the answers that you find will always enhance the quality of your life and enhance your health. Whatever your environment is, wherever you are, you have to make sure that your inner environment and your inner world is a safe world. It's a world that you have created a sense of power and a sense of beauty, and that you are okay with yourself, that you're good, that you are essentially unbothered. You need to be tapped into your unbotheredness, and wherever you go from there, you'll be able to have a good foot up. You'll be right with yourself, and you'll be able to easily make wherever you go feel more comfortable with yourself, and from there create a healthier environment. But the healthy environment is always going to start with you. So out of the four tips that I'm going to give you today that I've learned from my travels to create a healthy environment wherever you are, wherever you travel, wherever you go, number one is to be right within. Now, number two, let's talk about nourishment. All right. So you need to find your food. We have Google Maps, we have Google, period. Like, we got so many types of search engines. There's no excuse for you to be defaulting to something that is not going to be nourishing for your body. Nourishment is a top priority, okay? Wherever you're traveling, if you're creating a healthy environment for yourself, you're only going to feel healthy if you're able to feed yourself well. If you're constantly having to eat out, it's going to mess with your body. It's going to mess with the natural way that your body functions, and you'll start to feel it. It'll feel disgusting unless you're eating out at places that are really healthy. When you're on vacation, you do typically eat out unless you're at an Airbnb. But every night can't be burgers and french fries and fried this and that and chunks and chunks of whatever. Every night we don't want processed food or sweet things and desserts and blah blah blah. Like, it depends too on the country that you're in, because sometimes there's room for play. So that's another part of your nourishment. You need to leave some room for play so that you can create this healthy environment for yourself and give yourself a little bit of space to expand beyond your norm. When I first landed in Curacao, I got to my Airbnb and it was in Bonam. If you're familiar with the island of Curaçao, Bonam is a little bit out the way. It's not too far from the main city, but the island is very small anyways. So I got there, landed in my B&B in Bonam. The Airbnb host asked me if I wanted some food and he was going to Pizza Hut. At this time, I was vegan, so Pizza Hut was a no-go for me because I don't eat cheese and I didn't care if they had vegan pizza. I personally don't eat fast food. The last time that I had fast food was one French fry in Paris from McDonald's because I wanted to taste if it was different. And it's the same thing wherever you go. So I was like, I'm done with fast food. I don't eat it. And he told me that there was a store a few blocks down that I could walk to and see if they had anything that I could come back and cook in the little kitchen area in the Airbnb. And I was like, okay. So I took my little self, started walking down, taking in all the scenery, get to the store, and it's like nothing there besides a can of black beans and an onion. I'm like, I mean, I could do something with this, but I am so hungry. I have been traveling all day. I need to just go. Then I walk out of the store. I was like, I need to just go find me some food because if I don't, I'm gonna have to eat this can of beans and this onion, and that's just not the vibe, right? And I was like, sun's going down, we need to wrap it up. So I was going to take a click, which is the Uber that they have out there, and just find somewhere. So I was on my way back to the Airbnb, but I seen this red car, and inside of the car windows, there was about four young women about my age and mostly black, right? So I was like, oh, is this God sending me some angels? Is this an opportunity for me? So I was scared. I was pacing back and forth, wondering if I should ask them about food or where I could find something. And I just mustered up the courage and I said, this is a once in a lifetime time opportunity, right? I'm just landed in a new country. There's women here that I could make some friends and find some food. I was like, all right, walked up, waved in the window. She rolled it down. I said, do you know anywhere I could find some food around here? It took her a minute to register that I was speaking English, but then she registered and then she took it in, turned to her friends and started talking to them in Dutch, turned back to me and was like, we can just take you. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, wow, God, thank you. I was like, God, thank you for sending me these angels. So from there, we went on a little adventure. I got in the car, I was talking to them, we were listening to music, found out a little bit about them and their lives, which is amazing. They were students and they were visiting from the Netherlands, which Curaçao in the Netherlands, they have a history. The Netherlands was the colonizer. That's why most people on the island of Curaçao, they speak four languages. They speak Dutch, they speak Papiamentu, they speak English, and they speak Spanish. And Papiamentu is just a mixture of a bunch of different languages like Portuguese, Dutch, some African languages, and maybe some Spanish. And so we're just talking. They throw some little Dutch at each other because English isn't their main language, so I completely respect that. But they also respected me and they were speaking mostly English. And they were like, wait, how do you say it? How do you say it? And it was so funny, the language barrier, but through the music we connected because they were listening to American music. So we stopped at this one place and we walked up to the little, it was like almost like a little shack type of restaurant type of thing. And she was speaking to the lady in Papiamentu or Dutch, one of them. And um I had told her then because I forgot to tell her I'm vegan. And she was like, "Oh, so you don't eat meat, you don't eat that." I was like, "No, I don't eat none of that." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So she told the lady they didn't have anything for me there. So we hopped back in the car, continued driving around a little bit. And then the girl asked me, who was so kind to give me a ride to get some food. She said, do you like Chinese food? I was like, yes. Yes, I absolutely love Chinese food. So Then they took me a little far of a drive, but we ended up at this Chinese restaurant. It was like Dynasty something. So good. I got me some fried rice with some mixed vegetables, and I was so happy. Food smelled so good. I love Chinese food. So the fact that we were able to find a local Chinese restaurant, oh my gosh, I was so happy. I was so happy that they even had Chinese food on the island. I found out later that there was actually a lot of Chinese people on the island. You would be shocked how many Chinese people you'll find working in the stores and stuff. And it's like a weird thing going on with China. Almost like it was weird. Like we can potentially get into that at some point in the future, but I don't feel like getting into that right now because I'll go on a complete tangent. And so I get back in the car and we're driving back to my Airbnb. I finally get to sit down with my food. So happy that I met those girls. They were so cool. And I'm eating my food and it's so good. It's so delicious. Then I'm eating my rice and I'm like, I taste something. And I look down and I see little yellow pieces of food in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's eggs in this. I'm vegan, so I don't eat eggs. Now, currently, I'm not vegan anymore. But back then, I was like, oh snap. But I decided to play at that moment. The food was so good. I was like, oh, these eggs are so good. I'm on an island. They're not gonna hurt me. Mind you, eggs never really hurt me. It's just that I had a whole mindset around eating animal products that I'm shedding. But back then, I was like, you know what? Let me just play. So I allowed myself to play and expand a little bit, even from the parameters of the food that I normally ate. And this helped me to create a healthy environment for myself because I felt safer. I felt safer with myself, knowing that, okay, even if I have a little bit of this, my body's going to be fine. I'm not going to have a negative reaction. And actually, I'm in a new place. Why not explore different parts of myself and see if I can use food to help me do that? There's so many tools for you to find food that actually aligns with the way that you eat. Um, One thing that is important, I think, anywhere you go is kind of farmers markets or farms in general, where you can go and find fresh food that is local. Local food, wherever you go, is always going to be the best food because the closer your food is to the soil, when it gets to you, the better, the more high vibrational it is because it's able to retain those vitamins and minerals that it had when it was growing, that made it grow, that made it into the fruit and vegetable that you see in front of you. The further you are from the soil when it gets to you, the more those minerals have time to kind of just go away. And what happens when we have our regular groceries is that they have to do certain things to the vegetables to help them stay ripe. The fruits and vegetables stay ripe when they get to us because they're traveling so far. So local better. And this helps you to create a healthy environment for yourself. It helps you to feel safe. It has a good impact on how you feel. When you're eating good food, you're going to feel good as well. There's also apps such as Seed Oil Scout. I don't know if Seed Oil Scout extends beyond America, but Seed Oil Scout is an app where you can find restaurants, places to eat that don't have seed oils. And this is amazing if you're someone who's conscious about their consumption of seed oils and hydrogenated oils. We don't want to eat too much of that because they can have negative impacts on our bodies and cause oxidation in our bodies, which we do not like at all. But finding your food, finding the way that you can nourish yourself in a new environment that feels good for you. When I had those eggs by accident, I decided to just let go. Like, what was I gonna do? I was so hungry. And I had ate so much of it already, and my stomach didn't feel anything. So I was like, you know what? Perhaps this is a moment for me to even think deeply about my decisions around food and where they come from, right? Like using that opportunity to nourish myself helped me to create an environment where I felt safe and therefore I was creating a healthy environment. Not only that, finding food that works for me actually helps me stay healthy and it helps you stay healthy. Like we talked about the farmer's market, finding restaurants that will accommodate you as well. When I was in Paris, I was vegan as well. And I had to consistently tell the waiters or chefs is out if I was able to talk to them that I am vegan. So please, can you make this item on the menu vegan for me? That was amazing. That made me feel safe, and that helped me to learn to never settle. Never settle, period. I have a video on that. It's a food adventures podcast that I created where I talk about how food helped me to never settle. So I will link that in the description if you're interested in learning about that. I made that a few years ago. And when I was eating all this delicious food in Paris that was vegan, that I got to ask for and receive, it helped me feel safe and create a healthy environment for myself because I could stand up for myself, put my foot down about what I get to put into my body, and then I receive that. When you don't have a sense of kind of what getting to choose what you can eat, it might make you feel a lack of safety, a lack of power, and that will not create a healthy environment for you. You ever go over to a friend's house, travel to a friend's house, and they don't got no food for you? Or like when you were younger, let's say, because now we're older, but when you were younger and you went to a friend's house and they had no food and you were just hungry, ready to go, that feeling does not create a healthy environment for you. And wherever we go, we have to be able to create a healthy environment so that we can feel good. Okay. So seed oil scout, good tool, always farmers markets and farms, and always Googling. Go ahead and do some research before you go. See how far a place is that has food from you from where you're staying. Because we got Google Maps, we have Google, period. We can look things up. We have no excuses to get off of our diet or the way that we eat that makes us feel good. I have a little drink here. It looks gnarly. I know it looks gnarly, but this is spirulina, moringa, and wheatgrass. It's the green milk latte that I'm always talking about. I actually don't have milk, so just water in this, honey, sea moss. I mean, not sea moss, spirulina, wheatgrass, and moringa powder, and some nutmeg. It's really good. It's really nourishing too. And on that note, when you're traveling, if you have things that you consistently do to feel good, such as the strength that I have, or taking sea moss, or taking vitamins, be sure to take those with you if you can. Like pack little packs of them so that you can make a little drink for yourself and you can have your natural routine with you. That's going to make you feel so safe and it's going to help you create a healthy environment for yourself. Making yourself feel safe is a huge part of creating a healthy environment for yourself. And that's going to lead us into our third point, which is to assimilate quickly. Assimilating quickly makes you feel safe. And it's because when you immerse yourself, when you're able to walk around and go different places, visit different places, act like you're local, nobody knows that you're not from there, you start to learn about where you are in the world. And then you get to learn so much about yourself. You will learn things about your culture that you might not want to accept anymore, that you might decide to let go of. And you might learn things about the place where you are and the people who are there in their culture that you do want to take on. So you start to become a a being basically that's full of all these things that you learned from your travels. And this makes you expand. And expansion is health. It's about back to creating that healthy environment within yourself. So assimilating yourself, going on walks, seeing the stores around, talking to the people, that helps you foster community. Now this person is telling you things. They're also giving you new places to go. They're telling you how the public transportation works. And now you get a better sense of where you are. And when you're visiting these new places, it's just like, I see this thing is beautiful. I feel safe here. A good thing about like traveling is that it teaches you that almost everywhere is actually safe. We hear a lot about how this place isn't safe. We need to be careful when we visit certain places. But at the end of the day, anywhere that you travel and you get to vacation or move there, there are always going to be people who already live there. There's children who go to school who probably walk to and from school themselves. Nowhere in the world is that unsafe unless there's a war going on or something crazy. But nowhere in the world is unsafe to the point where like we have all these stigmas about places. Like there's children walking to and from school. Why do we think that we get to come to a country or an island or a place and feel like I gotta watch my back because I don't, no one's checking for you, no one's bothering for you. In fact, you came there. Like, stop acting like people are evil. Because in most places, people are good. People are good. And so we got to really change our mindsets about that. That's not going to foster a healthy environment for you. You have to assimilate yourself and go to that Airbnb instead of the resort or the hotel. Resorts and hotels, they create a sterile environment for you. Sometimes we got to get ourselves dirty, not really dirty, but let's just use that example, right? Sterile versus like germs and bacteria. When something's sterile, yeah, it's clean. That's good for certain things. But we need bacteria. We need germs to boost our immune system, or else if we're always in a sterile environment, we will never get the good stuff that we need to boost us on the inside. Not saying that other cultures or other places are germs and bacteria, but let's just look at this analogy, right? You need to get off of the resort, get off of the hotel, the cruise ship, and really dive deep and explore the area that you're in and assimilate yourself into that part of the earth. Become one with it. This will create safety for you. It's that feeling of being good in any hood. That's healthy. That feels really good. And also back to accepting parts of cultures and also letting parts go of your culture that actually don't align with your values anymore. And you actually get to see things being brought to light about yourself. When I went to a grocery store in another country, there was a currency, two types of currency, right? And they accept American dollars. So I'm at the register and I give the cashier the money, they give me my change, and I'm looking like, this looks not like the right amount of change. This has to be wrong. So I'm telling her that she's wrong and that this is not the right change. And she's trying to tell me, yeah, it is actually the right change. Look right here. I know how to do math. And then I realized, oh, snap, wait, the different currencies, it is the right amount. And typically, I would think, hey, this is time to get an attitude. This is time to get an argument because that is what my culture has taught me being an American and also being a New Yorker. It's a very aggressive out there. But the way that the cashier reacted to me, she just wanted to reach a level ground of understanding. She knew she was right. So there was no reason to get mad at me trying to convince her that she was wrong. She just wanted me to understand. And then when I did understand, she was genuinely happy. There was no real attitude there. And once I saw that and I was like, wow, she really was able to kind of like easily go from like a stern kind of like, no, I'm right to like you finally understand that I'm right. It wasn't like, yes, I've been right, now get out of here type of attitude that I would experience other places like where I'm from. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this on. I'm gonna take this on, this unbotheredness that she has, because what am I so bothered for? Like, why are we so bothered as certain cultures? And you might think that you're actually an unbothered person until you meet someone like that who's really unbothered. So assimilating yourself quickly, it will help you like just learn so much about yourself and about other cultures and other people and create an environment where you feel safe, where you feel a sense of community, and learning all these new things is contributing to your mental health, to your emotional health, and your spiritual health. So you're creating and cultivating a healthier environment. Lastly, the last way that you're going to make a healthy environment wherever you go to feel so good is you're going to find nature to immerse yourself in. I'm talking ocean, sea, beach, a forest, waterfall, or like creek, rocks, like natural rocks and things like that. Anywhere that you can really put your feet down and ground in the earth. And that's because of this thing called grounding, right? If you don't know what grounding is, it's basically putting your bare feet onto grass, soil, sand, anything of the earth that's really natural. And your feet have a lot of nerve endings and they also have a lot of sweat glands. So they're able to absorb really well. And there's this conduction that happens, right? Because there are electrons that the earth has. The earth kind of has a natural negative charge. And so you can have these electrons be absorbed into your body energetically, right? The energy comes through. And this helps to neutralize free radicals. Free radicals are those things that are freely radically roaming in your body that should not be there. Like, and they need to be neutralized. And the electrons can do that. They can just neutralize them, make them neutral, and you're good. And so grounding has these amazing positive effects on our physiological makeup. And it's amazing how there's studies on this and how like we need to connect to the earth. And that is actually a contributor to health, unhealthy lifestyle, right? A lot of it could be that we wear shoes all the time when we didn't always wear shoes. And now we're more disconnected from the earth. And studies have found that the like grounding can help with wound healing and your mental health, and it helps with your inner processes. It helps with so much. So when you're able to go to these places where you might be traveling or you're moved somewhere new, having these spaces to connect to the world around you is gonna physically impact your health. It's gonna make you healthier. Now, with forests, they lower your cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So when you're walking around the forest, you're going to naturally feel less stressed out. It's like those trees give you a hug. They also have a bunch of oxygen. We know that trees give us oxygen. Those plankton and seaweed in the ocean, they give us most of the oxygen, but trees are a good contributor to that as well. So we're getting some more fresh air into our lungs and feeling, the oxygen helps with our body, like internally, helps the blood travel, helps us flow better. So immersing yourself in a forest is one of the healthiest things that you can do for your nervous system and for your just overall being. When it comes to the sea and the beach, I feel like that's like just one of them ones, like the blue color of the sky and the ocean. is actually very calming for us. Blue is a very calming color, and it slows down our brain waves to relax us. So the beach will slow down your brain waves. You ever get on the beach and it's just like time kind of stops, like you basically entered a portal to relax land, and now your brain is just chill. Ocean water is full of minerals and it has magnesium, iodine, and potassium that your body receives. So it helps detoxify you, it's healing for your body, and it helps with any deficiencies. Like if you have a magnesium deficiency, go to the beach if you have access to it. It helps to fill in those gaps from our diets, which are lacking that. And our bodies just love absorbing it. And grounding your feet in the sand. And anytime you're grounding, if it's wet, it's a little bit better. So wet sand is better than dry sand. Wet soil and grass and ground and rocks are better than dry ones. And that's because water is a conductor. So it helps conduct that energy process that helps the electrons neutralize the free radicals in our bodies, and just this energy process that's happening. It's amazing. So when we connect to the Earth's field of energy, it always gives back to us. It's not going to take away from us. The only thing that's taken away from us is when we're not, when we're too much into the technology and we're not into the earth as much. We need the planet. The planet needs us. And so when you are able to find these little spots that you can go to, like you hit up a little beach, that's your favorite spot, or you have this little creek that you like to walk through and immerse yourself in the forest or a specific trail, this helps you create a little bit of a home for yourself by connecting to the earth and connecting to your original home and to your environment. It helps you assimilate as well to your environment because now you're becoming one with the actual ground and location that you're in. So all these things help you to cultivate a healthy environment for yourself. These are all little, just a few, just four of the things that I've gathered over time because it's important for me to feel good wherever I am. It's important for us to have a sense of health and wellness wherever we are. And it needs to be grounded. It doesn't need to be, oh, I'm naturally stress free because I'm on vacation. Like, obviously, that's there, right? But what about when you get back home? What about when you're moving somewhere new? The high wears off. So, creating a healthy environment around you and having these tools to always be able to say, like, okay, I feel safe wherever I am in the world. I'm good in any hood, protects you. It brings health and wellness into your life and supports your well-being. Stay golden.